So how I made the skirt is basically with a bunch of shapes, if that makes sense. The first shape you're going to want to make is a long solid square piece, or like rectangle, I guess. And this, don't use any like netting stitches because you want it to be solid, because this is the bit that's going to be like at the top of the skirt, and obviously you don't want to be able to see through it. And the length, obviously make it as like long as you want. Like if you want a mini skirt, you can do it not that long, but in terms of this, like this length, you want it to be slightly more than the circumference of your waist, so it should be able to wrap round your whole waist plus a little bit extra. Yeah, that's the first one you want to use. I used just a bunch of scrap yarn that I had. So as you can see, these like granny squares, I've had these for like 2 years, never knew what to use them for, so I just chucked them in. I also used leftover yarn from the next shapes I'm going to show you, chucked it all together to make this weird mismatched thing. And then all of the other shapes, you can do whatever you want. So this is one of the shapes that I made. It's like a spiral thingy. But the main like feature of each of these shapes is that it has to have a flat part on it. So as you can see, this is circular, except for at the top where there's a flat line, and this flat line is just so you're able to attach it to this piece. So as long as there's at least one flat edge, you can do whatever shape you want. So there's this one, I've got this triangular one. As you can see, I can use this as the flat line and it's got this triangular shape. I've got another triangular shape, which this is actually a hair bandana that I made like a year ago. I never wear it, so I'm going to chuck this into the skirt too. I've also got, it's more like a trapezium, I guess this one is. But I've got this big piece that kind of goes like outwards at the edge, as you can see. This is the biggest piece that I did, but there's like, as you can see, there's like holes in it throughout the whole way, which is why the base piece has to be completely solid so you can't see through it. And then the last one is just a complete square, as you can see, using a granny square that I've had for 2 years. Like the other ones that I was like, I made it, never knew what to use it for. It's just been sitting in a basket in my room. And I was like, yeah, I want to use this. I might as well use it because it's kind of the same greeny colour, but it was too small. So then I added these netting bits to decide to make a bigger square, and I'm going to use this edge to attach it. And then I added some cool looking yarn that I have at the bottom, which is this. I might add this to the bottom of a bunch of the other pieces as well so that they all match. But yeah, that's the basis. You can make whatever size shapes you want. If you want a long skirt, obviously you can make them longer this way. If you want a short skirt, you can keep them all short. But just make a bunch of different sized pieces. They can be whatever shape you want as long as they have that flat edge. And that's how I did it. I can try and find you a pattern for maybe this granny square and these triangle ones, but everything else I just made up myself using scrap yarn that I had. These are all just colours that I've had for a while, never knew what to use them for. And then obviously this main piece is used up with all the leftover bits from these individual pieces. And then the next step, I'll show you how to attach them together. The next step is to just use safety pins, lay it down flat, pin all your separate pieces to the base piece, making sure that flat thing at the top is connected. You can use like whatever pins, I just use like sewing pins, but you can use safety pins, whatever. Move them around until they're at a position that you're happy with, and then leave them pinned in that position, and then it's time to start crocheting them all together. As you can see, I've left them all pinned in place so they're in a big long line. You're going to get whatever yarn you want to use for the main bit of the skirt, slip knot onto your hook, and then while they're all pinned in place, we're going to crochet them together. As you can see, I'm just going to take these 2 pins out, You want to start with putting your hook through the one on the out and start on like the very far corner, so the outside piece. Put your hook through the far corner of that, hook through the far corner of the next piece, and then through the base piece, and then get the tail out of the way, do a single crochet as normal, but pulling through all of those layers like so, and then you're literally just going to work your way along through all of the layers, changing layers as it goes, work all the way along the top, and then all of the pieces are going to be combined together in the end, if that makes sense. And once you've done that row all the way along the top, you can see that the whole skirt is connected, and then you can just keep doing rows of half doubles, singles, doubles, whatever you want to make the waistband as tall as you want.
And once you've crocheted your band, I did 5 rows of double crochet. The last step is to crochet the belt thing, and to do that I just did a chain however long I wanted, went back into the chain, half doubles, and then because I used doubles for here, I literally just tucked the chain kind of underneath some of the doubles all the way around, and yeah, you can just tie it on. I'd recommend putting some safety pins here just in case. I mean, you don't want it to fall off, but yeah, this is the finished skirt. This is also a top that I crocheted just to like complete the look, I guess. Yeah, my favorite thing about the skirt is, well, one, it uses up all the, you can use whatever yarn you want, uses it all up, and 2, you don't have to weave any ends in if you don't want to, because it's supposed to look messy. So I didn't actually weave in any ends, I just knotted them and cut them, which is good. So I hope this helped in some way. I know I don't have an actual pattern, but yeah, hope that made sense on how to make your own.